Gymnastics, the most watched sport in the Olympics, and the sport that most people's parents probably made them try when they were 3 years old in order to learn how to balance and how to do a cartwheel. Today I'm here to inform you all about the background of gymnastics and to teach you about the modernization of the sport. The Olympics are coming up in the summer of 2020, and I'm sure most, if not all of you, are going to tune in to watch, or if anything, you'll probably hear about the success of the men and women's U.S. gymnastics team. Through my presentation, I hope you guys can learn a little information about this sport and hopefully gain some appreciation for the sport. I myself was a competitive gymnast for a very long time, and I've researched the history of gymnastics, so I'm very well versed about this topic. Throughout this presentation, I will talk about 3 main points: the background of the sport, the modernization of the sport, and the history of gymnastics in the Olympics. To start off, I will give a little quick history about the startup of gymnastics. So gymnastics dates back to the ancient Greek civilizations and included many events such as swimming, tumbling, wrestling, and lifting. Gymnastics was an umbrella term for any type of creative exercise. Eventually these events became their own sports, and that's when gymnastics went down the path to become what it is today. According to the Encyclopedia Britannica, gymnastics started off with 2 events, vaulting and tumbling. The art of tumbling spread across many different cultures, such as China, Egypt, and Europe. There are actually ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics that depict people doing backbends and different acts of tumbling. According to Olympics.org, ancient philosophers such as Plato, Homer, and Aristotle actually praised gymnastics for its effects on the human body and mind. The word gymnastics actually comes from the Greek term gymnos, which means to exercise naked. I'm glad people don't take that term literally anymore, because watching gymnastics on TV would be a way different experience. Now that you guys know a little bit about the history of gymnastics, let's talk briefly about the modernization of the sport. Gymnastics has modernized way differently than it started off, with just the 2 events. Now gymnastics includes many events for both men and women. Women compete in 4 different events: vault, uneven bars, balance beam, and floor. Men compete in 6 different events, including vault, floor, pommel horse, parallel bars, rings, and horizontal bar. According to Scholastic.com, modernization of the sport started in the 1700s. A man by the name of Frederick Jan is considered the father of gymnastics, and he's the reason why gymnastics is ran the way it is today. In 1811, Frederick Jan started the first gymnastics gymnasium, which really was a step forward for the popularization of the sport. Gymnastics didn't enter the United States until the late 1800s, and was brought over mainly by European immigrants who wanted to continue doing the sport, and they opened up their own clubs in order to do so. The modernization of the sport had a great impact on the popularization of the sport, which brings me to my next point, the history of gymnastics in the Olympics. Gymnastics has a long history with the Olympics because it was included in the very first modern Olympics in Athens in 1896, and is still included today. All men and women events are still competed in the Olympics, and even other branches of gymnastics, such as artistic gymnastics, are competed. According to the Olympics.com, men were the only ones allowed to compete in gymnastics in the Olympics, up until 1928 in the Amsterdam Olympics, when women were allowed to make their debut. The European countries were a powerhouse for Olympic gold medal gymnasts up until recent years, when the United States has begun to dominate the sport. Forbes actually says that gymnastics is the most watched sport in the Olympics, and they rake in around 40 million viewers every 4 years. I know that most people don't watch gymnastics year-round like they do other sports such as football or basketball, but this one time every 4 years is the time for this sport to shine, and all the insane tricks that these athletes are able to do draw in even the most uninformed viewers. And it doesn't hurt the fact that the U.S. women's team dominated the last 3 Olympics. Now, to conclude my presentation, let's recap the 3 points that we covered today. Gymnastics dates back to the ancient Greek civilizations. Gymnastics started to modernize in the 1700s, and Gymnastics has a deep history in the Olympics and is the most watched sport in the Olympics today. To end my presentation, I'll leave you guys off with this corny joke. What is a banana's favorite gymnastics trick? A split. And that concludes my presentation. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. So, what country has the most Olympic medals for gymnastics?
So Russia actually has the most Olympic medals for gymnastics, but Simone Biles, who is a US gymnast, actually holds the world record for the most total medals, gold medals won.
Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yes.
Okay, so what was your favorite event when you were a gymnast?
When I was a gymnast, my favorite event was probably bars because it felt like I was flying whenever I would just go in circles around the bar. Any other questions?
How many years did you do gymnastics?
I did competitive gymnastics for 9 years, and I went all the way to level 10 before I quit in high school.